Welcome to the 9642 podcast. This is your host, Mr. Number 9.
And this is The Fool.
This is where me and The Fool give our
Unqualified and unrequested
ramblings on the various issues in the world of sport.
or something like that.
Everyone, we are back for a brand new season. Yeah, we are here, and we're back with the bread and the butter and everything, all the other breakfast cereals and staples. We're going to talk about football of the European variety.
Yeah.
Now, when we last left you, the season had ended. We have a new club world champion. Congratulations!
Woo! Yeah!
Chelsea Football Club!
Yeah. The kings of the world. That's us.
Yep, and you have the set.
Yeah, we've got everything. Told you, we're collecting everything.
And then we had Liverpool won the Premier League, the second title in the Premier League era, and obviously they moved to 20 to equal Manchester United's total.
Yeah.
They get to we have a brand new champion of Europe, PSG.
Yeah.
Becoming France, only the second team from France to win the European Cup or Champions League. And we had Bayern Munich win the Bundesliga. We had Inter Milan win Serie A. Sorry, we had Napoli win Serie A.
Yeah.
Beg your pardon. And we had a that's right, Inter Milan were like the nearly men for everything last season. And we had Tottenham Hotspur win their first trophy.
Wow.
In more than since 2008, when they won the League Cup under Juan de Ramos. Now we enter the new season, and we are in the silly season, very much well within it. Everyone is in the process of getting their transfers in. Somehow Chelsea still getting players and also trying to sell players.
Looks like Nicholas Jackson might be heading to Newcastle, and since Isaac will probably move to Liverpool there.
Yep. Alexander Isak, probably it's $150 million transfer fee. I remember a few years ago when Jurgen Klopp said that Liverpool can't do what City does and try and win the title by spending loads of money on players. Well, guess it sucks to be you, Klopp. They were just waiting for you to leave before they spent all that money.
Oh dear, yes.
Because they've been spending money like it's going out of fashion to help. And to be fair, they're backing the manager. He's won the title in his first season, and the first Dutch manager to win the league as well.
Yeah.
So right now, Liverpool want to take advantage and try and go, compete. They want to compete with the usual suspects we're going to see out in the coming season. We have a look. Both Arsenal and Manchester City and even Manchester United have, and Tottenham Hotspur for that matter, have all got in players to strengthen their squad.
Yeah.
Notably, Manchester United has managed to get both Mbuemo and the and Mateus Cunha in to the club. Cunha business was done very quickly early on, and they got Patrick and they got Diego Leon in as well, who's a youth player.
Yeah.
So at the moment, like, I think they're still trying to get rid of players. Marcus Rashford looks like he's just joined Barcelona on loan, and Barcelona have agreed to cover the whole of his fee. So that's that's gonna help United clear up some of the room in their wage bill. Tyrell Malacia has also gone. Is looking for a new club. It's a bit sad that Garnacho's also been told that he can go, because he's obviously, with Rashford, I think everyone sort of feels sad about it, because he's like a United boy and he's done so much for the area as well, so he does love the city, love the club. But I think it's a time, like, for his own sake, even at this point, I think everybody knows that there's no point in him staying at United. His career is gonna stagnate, and Barca. It's interesting to try and figure out what's gonna happen to him at Barca, because Barcelona have had a ridiculous off-season. They tried to get Nico Williams, who had agreed to go, but they were trying to then negotiate because they had a deal, and they tried to negotiate with Athletic Bilbao about the fee. The Athletic Bilbao were like, look, either you meet the release clause, and we're not hiding what it is. It's 100, and I think it was something like 120 or 30 million, and the Barcelona tried to negotiate, and then Nico got a bit iffy about it, because Barcelona were like, because there were things about, even if Barcelona managed to sign Nico Williams on time, he may not be eligible to play for them. At which point he was just like, because La Liga still has to approve all of Barcelona's transfer. Which makes sense given their money issues. At which point Nico was just like, I don't have these problems at Bilbao. I'm not even really sure why I want to leave, and he signs an 8-year deal to stay there.
That's just a little fun.
It is really funny, and I get it. Like, it's a very classic Bilbao move too. Like, player from Bilbao just realizes, there's no place like home. I'll just come back. Why am I doing this?
Well, exactly. It's like, this seems more trouble than it's worth.
Exactly. So that was the fun bit of the summer, because that transfer saga looked like it was gonna drag on for ages, and then Nicolas Jackson just went, nah, let's end this now. I'm not leaving. And Bilbao's happy. They never wanted to sell him, but they're also like, but we're not gonna stay out of your way. You wanna if you think your future is outside of the Basque country, we'll sadly support, but we'll let you go. And then he's like, maybe it's not outside the Basque country, who knows?
Yeah.
And they went, and Barcelona ended up basically, but to be fair, now it means, I guess, Real Madrid won't be able to sign him in a few years.
Here is that.
An 8-year contract, that's like such an old school style deal, somebody who's signing to stay at a club for that long.
That's a decent amount of time he signed for.
it's basically just telling every other potential suitor just like, yeah, don't bother, like I am just not interested.
Yeah, exactly.
Though it's a bit sad that we won't get to see Lamine Yamal hang out with
Nico, yeah.
Nico on both sides of Barcelona's wing. Like that's the only reason everybody was excited about this transfer, right? Like two young best wingers in the world would be playing in the same team.
It would have been crazy.
It would have been crazy and heaps of fun, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
It is what it is, as you said. Like, it would have been nice, but at the same time, like, yeah, it is. It just is, so. We'll have to keep dreaming.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Manchester United, I'm still not too convinced about their moves. I don't know how well they'll do, but optimistically, they finished 14th in the league last year. They should hopefully finish higher than that, quote unquote, hopefully.
Are they going to finally get Sancho out on a deal? Seems that
Impossible.
Impossible. Apparently, Dortmund is looking for them.
Yeah, well, nobody outside of England can afford his wages, and Sancho rightfully is not looking to take a pay cut anywhere.
No.
And like they're in a situation where they're not allowed to train with the others, and they aren't allowed in until the rest of the players have left the training ground.
Oh, really?
And all this other stuff, so they're not being exactly treated the best either. But they are showing up and they are training, even though they've been told you don't need to.
Yeah.
We'll see how it works out. But like I said, I think Manchester United top 10 finish. If I'm going to be optimistic, they could finish in the top 5, but I think more like if the goal is to get back to Europe, if they finish in the top 7 or win a cup this season, that should be enough.
Yeah, you would think so.
Looking at Chelsea, how happy were you with their businesses being done, especially because they got a lot of it done before the Club World Cup?
Yeah, it was good seeing like João Pedro out there and showing how good he is. You say Delap was out, got a bit of a run around.
Yep.
I mean, overall, can't complain. So far,
yeah.
I'm not sure if they've got more coming. And it was we got that Palmeiras guy as well as Savio, something, whatever it is. And he looked good in the Club World Cup playing. He played against us and played really well. So it was also good to see like that sort of commitment to his club as well. Like still plays hard against the club he's about to move to literally a week later or so, a fortnight later. So it was, I think, so far happy to see how it all goes. But
yeah, I think that Chelsea should be happy. They got 90 million for their winning, and it's gonna help. Like they were probably the only Premier League club that took it seriously when they were there. Manchester City didn't look like they were too worried one way or the other.
Yeah.
And they just Manchester City treated it like an extended preseason.
Yeah.
Which might end up being helpful to them this season.
Possible, yeah.
And wait, it's a tough one for the English teams because if the Club World Cup becomes something that's very lucrative, like Chelsea's already won the first title, like potentially, like there's always going to be at least 2 English teams already, I think, in this tournament because, like, outside, even if 4 different winners are not from England, like in the 4 seasons leading up to it, we've already got PSG this season, and there's going to be 3 more in the next 3 seasons. There will be in the top, in the by coefficient rankings, you will have that many English
Yeah,
teams, right?
exactly.
Like,
It seems, not very feasible for an English team not to have won the Champions League in that 4 years, and also to be outside the top 9.
yeah,
Otherwise, with all you say, with only 2 from every
yeah,
um,
allowed.
country, yeah, it seems
Because
very unlikely.
realistically, other than PSG, who already qualified because they've won,
Hmm.
I don't see another French team getting in that top 9.
No.
And like it could happen, but
Hmm.
extremely unlikely in my opinion.
Oh, I
And
mean, potentially ninth with, or potentially if there was if somebody won it multiple times during that 4 years, right? But then you stretch the um, coefficient ranking a little bit further down.
if there's multiple winners from a country, it'll probably be PSG or Real Madrid type of team, right? It'll be
Yeah,
from one of those top 4 leagues or PSG.
yeah,
So, like, I see what you're saying. So if you're
yeah,
saying the more likely thing is if say PSG win, and then next season you've got City, and then you've got Real Madrid, and then you've got Bayern Munich.
yeah,
So then you can only get one team from the rankings. I see what you mean, and then
yeah,
after that it could be a French team. Ah, yeah,
yeah. So
potentially, yeah.
if you
That
only
could
had
be
like 2 or 3 teams coming through from being winners, then you've got more teams
yeah,
that have to come through the coefficient rankings, right? So
yeah.
at some point you're, quickly using up English teams, quickly using up
Yeah.
the Spanish, Madrid and Barcelona likely going no matter what. Whether Bayern wins something or not, they're likely to be high enough ranked to be there. Then one of the other Germans is definitely going. So it becomes a
Yeah.
point there where a second French team could get there.
Borussia Dortmund should make it, right?
Yeah,
Because they tend to do well in Europe, at least, even if they're having a bad Bundesliga season.
yeah, exactly. The only problem
And
might be is if they're having a bad Bundesliga season, they can't get good ranking points the next year in Europe competitions to keep it going. But
yeah, and for the Spanish teams, that's the like Barcelona could have a tough time because if Madrid might be higher than them in the coefficient, or if Real and Atletico win, then Barca's out.
yeah,
Or vice versa, if Barca and Royal win, because entirely possible. In fact, likely.
yeah,
One of those two teams will win in the next 3 years, right? Like,
yeah.
um, then you've only got then they miss out on a spot.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that they, like, for Europe, it's made it better because it's basically increased the variety of countries representing. But like and CONMEBOL, it just means there is a country other than Brazil represented because the Brazilian clubs like out muscle the rest of the continent quite easily in terms of like financial clout. And it'll be interesting to see how it works out in North America because the MLS teams tend to not do well in the continental competitions. They haven't won the Champions League in forever, like the CONCACAF Champions League. And the Mexican teams tend to dominate.
Yeah.
So like if we get 4 different Mexican teams win next time, then clearly, like, assuming they keep the same format, there will be I assume the finals are going to be in Spain next season?
Next time?
Next time?
Don't know.
Because it's being hosted by so many different countries. How are they going to do Are they just going to allow a team from each of those? Or are they going to go host the Club World Cup in South America, which I think would make more sense?
Yeah.
Because most of the other side of the tournament is being held in Morocco and Spain and Portugal. Like, if you're only getting one group game. Right. Like, one or two group games in each of the South American countries, like
Yeah.
Uruguay. So if they host the Club World Cup, either Uruguay or like Uruguay hosting it makes sense because they're hosting the first game, right? And
Yeah.
giving them a free team means at least they're represented in the Club World Cup.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, we'll see how they decide to play it. They're like assuming we still have it, given it's not. I don't know. Do you think it's been a success? Like they'll claim it was, obviously,
Yeah. Um,
but
I think it was partial success. Like I want to say yes, but I feel there was still some bumps in the road to sort out, right? Like they had problems um with the weather, so I don't know how much that played into it, and people sort of not really engaging in the early part of the tournament.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
And it'd be a little bit interesting to see how they go with the Ocean. Well, I suppose next time I was saying with Oceania, but next time we'll have the was it the Oceanian League thingy going. So
Yeah,
maybe that helps a little bit there
yeah,
because yeah. Also, it was good seeing Auckland City represented there and everything. Yeah, the first two games sort of really showed the massive gap between um, you know, their very amateur status and the lots of um, professional teams there in a way that the previous format allowed them to shine a little bit, and this one that basically had no hopes.
Well, also there was real money in this tournament, so people actually
True.
took it a bit serious. Like
Yeah,
they had Bayern Munich. Like it was a bit of a bad group for them to get
yeah,
stuck in as well. Like Bayern Munich were never going to take a game against them easily, or give them like a bit of a freebie. And then like the South American teams all do take it quite seriously
yeah.
as a tournament.
Oh, interesting. The next Club World Cup apparently hasn't been decided where it's at, so they're not keeping it with the World Cup as such. So they're actually doing a bidding process for that.
That's
Which
weird.
potentially Australia and New Zealand might put a joint bid in for that, which would be interesting.
That would be interesting, but it's still weird.
Yeah,
But it's Oceania's most likely way to host a World Cup, I guess.
yeah, yeah,
Because Australia were thinking of doing a joint bid for the next World Cup in 2030, but I think Saudi Arabia kind of went, please don't.
Well, 2034, right?
2034,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that was more FIFA going. No, it's going to Saudi Arabia because we'll have like a 20 minutes um, allotment time for bids to come in, which we've suspiciously the Saudis are specifically ready for and have submitted. And oh look, there it is. Oh well, I guess that's all the bids there is then.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, yes, for 2029 Club World Cup, yeah, Australia potentially with New Zealand, Brazil, Qatar, Spain, Portugal, Morocco, and then United States also apparently allowed to host it a second time.
I guess I'll tell you
That's
where that's
basically
going.
money.
I'm telling you where it's going then.
It's one of two places that's going.
Unless China puts in a bid, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, in that list there are two names that make FIFA lots of money. So yeah.
I mean, one of the countries that was trying to, planning to aim to host the World Cup in 2034 was China.
Hmm.
And like, it's interesting that they've literally they've stopped their football project and Saudi Arabia started theirs. I guess Saudi Arabia is a country where football is the most popular sport, like
Yeah.
as opposed to China where football isn't. Like obviously the most popular sport is ping pong, but like in terms of like a team sport, like I know ping pong is played in teams, but that's different.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, the um the like the most popular like team sport is like uh, I think basketball's
Yeah,
in
I
China.
I think basketball too.
I mean, I'm happy to be corrected, obviously,
Yeah.
because I think even like India and Bangladesh and Pakistan, those cricket countries, football's more popular than it is in China.
Yeah.
Like apart from places like Hong Kong and Macau, which like that's special. They're a special administrative zone for a reason.
Yeah.
The the football's not as popular as it is in the rest of China. Football's not as popular in the rest of China as it is in those special admin
Yeah, yeah.
regions. And I think in Taiwan it's baseball.
Yes.
So neither the Republic or the People's Republic is it the most popular sport. Like in Japan, it's not the most popular sport either, but it's still really popular.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it's easily the second most popular team sport. And like I think Japan's sporting commercial culture and like system is more developed than it is in China. Like
Yeah, yeah.
Japan has a really strong basketball league, a really strong football league, and like they have a good, really strong rugby league, etc., etc.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
But going back to our European football, what is your prediction for Chelsea next season?
Um.
Are they gonna put in a title
I would hope
challenge?
so. I think potentially our defense still isn't up to scratch. So
Left back, right?
yeah,
Like I think you guys still need to sort that position out.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the defense looked okay at the Club World Cup, better than it had been throughout the rest of the year. But potentially that's a little bit, and I mean, it dealt with the PSG attack very fine, which was nice to see. But I felt that was a little bit of a outlier in terms of performance. The season has sort of shown that that defense is not necessarily always as solid as
Yeah.
it should be. So I mean, if we get, say, a left back, maybe a centre back, in a right back, a goalkeeper, like the whole line,
Yeah.
the whole defensive format, I'd feel a little happier and a little bit more safer with saying that it'd be a title contention. But I think, I mean, we're good enough definitely for the top four. So as always, we should that's minimum, and hopefully that does well. But they should do that as minimum. But I think as a title contender, a serious title contender, that defense needs shoring up a little bit. And I think last year even I said goalkeeper is the spot for me. That's the main area of concern.
It is every few seasons for Chelsea.
Yeah. It's just about every season since Peter Cech. Well, yeah. Since Cech and since
Courtois left.
Courtois,
right?
yeah. So we're Cech, we're Courtois, and then since then, so good. Every now and then, yeah, a season of brilliance from someone, but it doesn't seem to last.
Yeah, it turns out it's a pretty important position to sort out if you want to win shit.
Strangely, yeah. At least we got one of our problem childs off to Arsenal. Well, yeah, at least they took Pepper
Yeah,
off
yeah,
us.
yeah. Like another long-term, uh, what you call, uh, p- tradition of Chelsea's, right? Dropping your problem children to Arsenal.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the ones that go to City, you're like, nah, they're gonna become really good players. City or Liverpool.
Yeah,
But if they drop to Arsenal, you're like, ah, yeah, that's
yeah.
fine.
Good. We got rid of them just at the right time. Their form's about to die. Excellent. They've peaked
Yeah,
already.
yeah, pretty much. And you've also sent like Noni Madueke to Arsenal.
Yeah. Yeah, Madueke went to Arsenal as well. So, which I was a little surprised about. Like he hadn't been playing that badly, but um, same point. Like a lot of the incomings, uh, are fulfilling his role better. So
Yeah.
potentially he's more on the he's peaked and is about to decline if he's going to Arsenal. But he may also
He's
play
still
well for them. So
he's pretty young, isn't he? I thought he was like 22, 23.
23, yeah. So I mean that's why I was a little bit surprised. He's a bit young. He's younger than we would normally be selling off to the
I
rival.
think
You know,
he just needs minutes, right? He just wants to play.
yeah. And that was the thing, like with who we're getting in, who we were targeting so far, like clearly he was going to get less and less minutes. So him going is not the end of the world for Chelsea. Like
Yeah.
we've got, I think João Pedro's already shown that he's going to be better. Estavio, great as well. He's showing great things there. So yeah, and a couple of other younger ones coming in. Probably just get loaned out again, but like, they
Yeah.
seem as good, if not better than Madueke anyway. So
It's not
too worried.
like you're wanting for players, I guess, especially in his position.
Yeah, exactly.
To Not enough players is not a Chelsea problem. There are many problems at Chelsea. That is not one of them.
No, that's
But
not
I
funny.
think, I think the project's been going on now for a while at Chelsea. You can't like Todd Bowley can't keep going like, oh, this, like us Game of Thrones fans have been telling people like, oh, this car, vroom vroom vroom, it's gonna be so cool when we see this car, vroom vroom.
Just keep imagining it, but it's going to be so cool.
Yeah, and Todd Bowley can only do that for so long, right?
Yeah.
Before
So, yeah.
you guys need to actually show what the project is gonna bring out.
So, brought out a
Like,
Club World Cup. There you go.
yeah, that's exactly enough, right? That's all you wanted, a Club
Yeah.
World Cup.
Yeah,
You don't want to
clearly.
win the Premier League or the Champions League or any of that stuff.
This is Club World Cup. This is World Cup. See, now we're champions of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. So we'll have to see how it goes. I say for me, it's probably goalkeeper. I mean, maybe Sanchez, takes that World Cup form and has a wonder season, and then everything will be forgiven and will look awesome.
Yeah. So you're predicting top four for Chelsea?
Yeah. Let's predict third.
Third? Okay. Let's go to last season's champions, Liverpool. They won easily, and they're even better than they were last season. They've got, Hugo Ekitike. Probably gonna get Alexander Isak. They got Florian Wirtz, fantastic player, and Georgi Mamarshvili from Valencia. There's a bunch of players, and they got Jeremy Frimpong as well from Bayer Leverkusen.
On the ditto.
So,
Yeah.
and Milos Kerkez from Bournemouth. So great business, and they're getting done, and they're not yet done either. They also sold Trent Alexander-Arnold to
Real
Roma,
Madrid.
so that's going to be Real Madrid, beg your pardon, yeah. So that's going to be a big loss. But other than that, um, they they will be pretty happy, I think, overall.
Yeah.
I think once again it's basically 1 or 2 for Liverpool, isn't it?
Yeah. I would be surprised if not top 2. And serious title contenders.
Yeah. So do we expect them to go back to back?
Yeah. Being as you say, they had a great squad, easily won it, and sure, Trent's moved on, but they've got such great replacements coming through. Like, yeah, I don't. It feels like it's just going to be a stronger side.
Yeah. I also got so the only team that I think obviously can compete with them is Manchester City.
Yeah.
They got in the transfer window Tiani Reinders from Milan, Marcus Bettinelli from Chelsea, which is a great buy, I think. Ryan Cherki from Lyon, and Severe Naipan from Rosenborg and Norway. So far, the thing is, it's the players. If Manchester City are getting them, I'll just assume they're gonna be good. They're gonna help the team out. It's how will Pep come back? Every time he's lost, he's come back even stronger in his Premier League career, right? Like
Yeah.
his first season, people were calling him Fraudiola. If you remember, the bald fraud.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a real thing, boys and girls. If you're too young to remember, ask your grandfather or yeah. Or your parents. It was a real thing. People used to call him the bald fraud, and he's obviously, if not the best, at least one of the top 2 greatest managers in the Premier League era.
Yeah.
He did re-sign as well, start of a new 3-year deal, which he's gonna go into his second year of. He'll want to, even if next season is gonna be his last season at City, he'll want to, I think, leave with a bang. He's not gonna want to leave on a low.
No.
At Manchester City, and Manchester City has just got this habit of making people stay. They just realize they'll never have it better outside of the Etihad Stadium. Like you get employers who kind of understand what you need and are willing to back you with money and look after the staff, and even if you want to leave, they're not like, they don't stand in your way. They're just kind of like, okay, this is your value. Go find someone who's willing to pay this much for you. We'll sell you. Done.
Yeah. Very pragmatic like that, isn't he?
Yeah. So I do. It's like David Silva for years was saying, everybody was like, oh, it's his last season. He's gonna leave, and he just always ended up staying. I think, It's one of those things, we know that's what City are like.
So I see Guardiola apparently won't re-sign with City. Like once his current contract expires in 2027, he's saying that it's decided he's going to go have a break. Though that break may just be retirement, since he said that it could be like 15 years. But I don't know how much that's just Pep being a bit silly.
Pep's addicted to football.
Yeah. Seems weird
Like,
the idea that he wouldn't be somewhere.
yeah, no, this is like we all have a friend who says they're never gonna drink again after they've gone on a bender and then taken a week off from drinking and gone, yeah, I feel no much better. I'm never gonna drink again. And then, the next time you see them, they're out on the large.
Yeah.
And absolutely, like, not that I'm condoning that behavior. I'm just
No.
saying that as like we all have a friend like that,
Yeah.
And so
It does sound a bit like that. Like he's had a bit of a rougher season, feeling a bit like, I'm never gonna do that. I'm done. I'm finished. What do you say? Come 2027, like, oh look, he's still here and still doing stuff. Scratch that.
I could see him maybe take an international job, like trying to win a World Cup. Like someone like Pep, who's like such a football historian and like, I think he does really want, because there was a rumor that he was gonna go to Brazil for 2014 World Cup.
Yeah.
And obviously Carlo Ancelotti has done that for Brazil now, so he's kind of done the advantage on Pep, but there will be opportunities at the international stage, like also, but I think Spain are pretty good international wise. Like they've got a team that's pretty awesome, so I don't think that's gonna be the country. And he's always kind of said that he doesn't want to take over Spain. He's such a Catalan nationalist.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it plays out. But this next season, I think Pep is motivated. He wants to do well. I do think City come back on top.
You can't write City off, right?
Yeah, they're my favorites at the moment. Next up, we go to our Arsenal, who finished second last season.
Mm-hmm.
Just obviously they've been finishing second 3 years in a row.
Yes.
They're the club. Arteta, like I think the fans know that he's done well for given the wage bill he is competing at Liverpool and City with.
Yeah.
And the kind of players like he has built this squad. But this group of players, they are aging. He will need to refresh, so this is a chance before they come before he can, before he'll look to probably need to wholesale get people in and out.
Yeah.
They got in Kepa Azrilabalega from Chelsea, as you said, as a backup goalkeeper. Noni Madueke from Chelsea as well, as we mentioned. Christian Norgard from Brentford. Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. And the Christian Mosquera from Valencia, and the big one, Victor Gyökeres. They've actually got a striker, finally. Yeah. An out-and-out striker as well. Somebody who plays up front. Yeah. So they've got no excuses.
Yeah.
Their outgoings are players like Kieran Tierney to Chelsea, Jorginho going to Flamengo on a free, Tavares to Lazio, and Marquinhos to Cruzeiro. So they've refreshed a bit of their squad as well at this point. And to be fair, Marquinhos did go on loan to Cruzeiro as well, so he's just made that permanent.
Mm-hmm.
It looks good. The team like I said, their team are not the issue. I think they've got the players.
Yeah.
I do think they need another player to be like Madueke is going to be the person who's basically covers for Saka when he's tired or needs rotation, right? And he's going to give Saka competition on that right wing.
Yeah.
You've got an out-and-out striker. That's what they need. Their defense is strong, but they probably need maybe a couple more center backs. So we'll see if they do that. Like if Saliba um, gets tired, that's when, or gets injured, that's going to be something that's potentially problematic for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But otherwise, I think they're all good. Arsenal, top 3 at least, right? We're thinking?
Well, I'm going to put them fourth since I said we were going to be third.
Oh, fourth. Do you think Arteta would get fired if he finished fourth, especially after he's gotten so much of the pieces he wants?
Yeah, I guess. I don't think any of the coaches will get fired for being fourth. It depends a little bit on how they got fourth.
Or would
But
would he resign if he thought, look, I've taken this team as far as I can? Like, you need.
that's a bit more of an interesting question. Does he leave if he feels like I've done all I possibly can and I can't do any better than what I've got here?
Yeah.
So that's possibly more of a possibility if he finishes fourth. I don't think any club's going to fire them for finishing fourth because they're still Champions League. They're still making money. A little bit depends on how they finish fourth, but I think all these clubs like fourth is minimums. Like they reach fourth, sure you've met baseline requirements. Or at least if you've made Champions League, so even fifth really. If
Yeah.
they have the coefficients, which they should still, I think. Made that, sure, baseline's covered, we made that. There may be questions asked if the method of getting there is, like if the gap between them and higher up is quite large and there was a big step, say
Yeah.
from third to fourth or fourth
Yeah.
to fifth, whatever, and they looked completely outclassed. That's a different story, but I feel this season the top 4, or possibly even top 5, will be pretty close together anyway. Well, I think even
I
possibly
agree.
closer than it was last couple of seasons.
Yeah. Well, we will see. I do think that if Arsenal don't do a sustained title challenge, like they're not in the title come April next season, there will be questions about the squad and the manager.
Yeah.
Because they've got a pretty decent team who are still pretty young. Like, is somebody else going to be better able to do stuff with this team?
Yeah.
Well, especially because I think after the World Cup next season, Carlo Ancelotti will be available for people.
That's also very true. That maybe that
Unless
comes
he
into it.
retires, and
Yeah.
he might actually retire if he retires. Carlo Ancelotti has interests outside the game.
Yeah.
He's a normal human. He's a neurotypical manager.
Yes.
But like Pep was just going like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah,
And even
exactly.
then, probably not. Whereas with like Carlo, we're like, oh yeah, he might retire. And like, what a career he's had. Well worth it for him to consider that even.
Yeah. It's definitely more believable, right? I can see that happening.
100. Yeah, absolutely. And it like, if he leads Brazil to a World Cup, like, that's the time, right? That's when you go, yep, that's me, I'm done.
Exactly.
Like, I've gotten a title for the Canaries, like their first one since since 2002, more than 20 years. Like, I'm gonna be like, he's obviously already gonna retire as an absolute legend of the game, as both a player and a manager. But he's, that just grows it even more.
Yeah, exactly. He's saying that's a definitely like put that feather in the cap and be like, I am the best. Thank you. I'm leaving now.
Yeah. It'll be like a great blow for the materialist managers. Like he is the best of the materialist managers because he has a philosophy. He likes an idea of what, but his whole thing is just like, what do I have? What players do I
Yeah,
have at my disposal? How do I get the best possible outcome from these players in the way I see, like what I
yeah,
consider
yeah,
to
yeah.
be, yeah. And he just does it. Like, he always kills it as a
Oh,
manager
exactly.
almost everywhere he goes.
Yeah,
Um, Now, going on to our next team that finished fourth last season, Newcastle United. Obviously, at the time of recording, Alexander Isak has not yet joined Liverpool, but we're just gonna assume in this podcast that he will. Like, it's
yeah.
almost certainly gonna happen.
It may have happened before this podcast comes out.
Yeah, yeah. Before we finish recording, it may already be
Yeah,
old news. Oh, yeah, yeah. So we shall see. But like, they have gotten Park Song-soo from Suwon Blue Wings coming. Uh, they got Anthony Elanga from Nottingham Forest, a
yeah,
really good buy. I think also they've come. It's from a um, direct rival in terms of like a team that was competing for
yeah, yeah,
European spots, Premier League, and Nottingham Forest are gonna be in the Europa League this season because
yeah.
of their tattling on um, what they're tattling on Crystal Palace.
Yeah. Well, did
You know, the Athletic did a deep dive on this, and we'll get to Nottingham Forest because obviously they finish right next. But
yeah,
I think there's a lot to defend Nottingham Forest on for the. Also, they got Antonio Cordero from Malaga. Not Newcastle United. Obviously, they can't spend big for PSRs or financial fair play reasons.
mm,
They will, but if Isak does go and they get Nicholas Jackson, they will get some money because it's at least 150 million, I believe, their transfer,
yeah,
and they will. I think Nicholas Jackson is a good. I don't think it's a like for like, but I think that's a good option for
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Potentially, they might even be able to, if Villa are willing to sell, get a player like Ollie Watkins or maybe
Mm,
Ivan Toney.
maybe, maybe.
So we shall see. And then, or they already have a really good defense. They could potentially look to buy a few more young players to fill out their squad
Yeah,
because they have Champions League football this season
yeah,
to play for. And I think with the new format, I think Newcastle wants to make the next round. Newcastle, Chelsea definitely, like all the
yes, yes.
top five definitely want to make the second round at least of Champions League, get that money,
Yeah,
and try and cement themselves as like as the Champions League quote unquote teams. Um, we've also got another Champions League team going on to our next one, Tottenham Hotspur. So Ange Postecoglou wins Spurs, as we said earlier, their first ever um, first ever trophy in a long, long. And they immediately let their manager go, and they bring in Daniel Falk, uh, bring in a new manager,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
uh, Thomas Frank from Brentford, who very pragmatic. I think a good choice as well, because while he also I think has a bit of a philosophy. He's very practical about the players he has and trying to get the best outcomes. Like Spurs are already like looking strong in set pieces.
yeah.
Okay, also we didn't say what do we think Newcastle are finishing next season?
Mm,
They have Champions League football, and last time they dropped back into Europa League spots when they had to
yeah, yeah.
do that.
I still feel like they're not going to the Champions League football is going to make it a little more distracting for them. I'm saying if Isaac goes, which is very likely, it depends a little bit on who they get back, but that's losing some strike power, no matter who they get in.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to be quite as good as.
Whoever they get in, I don't think they're going to be as good as Isak is.
Yeah.
Like right away at least, and you're not, or it's going to be difficult to try and get his output in the aggregate.
So I feel like that's going to hurt them a lot. So I don't think top 5 for them. I still think perhaps European spot, say 6, 7, maybe 8 if they're unlucky.
What do you think about Spurs? Because if there is, I think, those top 5 from last season, plus Spurs, plus Manchester United, are probably competing for European spots, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think Nottingham Forest, if they do go on a European Cup run, are not gonna be competing for that.
And they are in the cup. I know they dobbed Crystal Palace in, but then I thought Crystal Palace
so they're in the Europa League. Crystal Palace are in the Conference League.
Oh, the conference. Oh, is that? I thought Crystal Palace got something reinstated for it as well, whatever it was. But
because Crystal Palace, I guess we'll just finish on Spurs, and because we're going to talk about Nottingham Forest, and we can go into Crystal Palace after that. Spurs got Mohamed Kudus from West Ham United, really good buy. Potentially looked at getting Morgan Gibbs-White, but he looks to have re-signed with Forest, so that's a really good outcome from them. Kota Takai from Kawashima in Japan. Kevin Danso. Matisse Tell completed his loan spell. He's staying at Munich. And Luka Vuskic, who looks like an incredible player at centre-back for Spurs. So look like really tall, big guy, good player of the ball. So we could Spurs. I don't think they will finish in a Champions League spot from the league, but they could go pretty far in the Champions League itself. This feels like a proverbial tough team in a cup to play.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
They're not gonna finish 17th like they did last season.
No.
So, and we know that there were special circumstances surrounding that. Also, they might lose Son, because they're going on a preseason tour, and they are going to Korea. So one of the things people are saying is that he might go to Korea and then end up, after that he leaves Spurs, he gets to go home to a hero's welcome. And Sonny moves on, which I think, if that's what Son wants, that might be the way through.
Sounds
already
like
hearing
MLS.
Sounds like MLS. So we'll see how that plays out. But obviously, it's still a big loss, even though he's not really the best left winger in the club anymore. That's Kulusevski.
Yeah.
Spurs will probably get some money from Son, and obviously they're gonna get a lot of the salary cap opened up. So they're still open to getting players because they tried to get Gibbs-White.
Yeah.
So we'll see. They do need a number 6. Otherwise, like I said, that's why currently I don't see them finishing in the top 5. They might even finish just outside the European spots, but probably maybe 6th. Actually, I think them and Manchester United are gonna fight over 6th, 7th, right? I think.
Yeah. I mean, potentially one of those 3. We include Newcastle, or 4 if we include Nottingham Forest.
I don't think Nottingham Forest are competing for the league position. I think Villa potentially might come back.
Oh yeah, Villa, good point. And there's obviously always the mid-table quartet.
The mid-tables like your Brentfords and Brightons, they have been thoroughly rated.
Yeah, they have
this season. So obviously they do really, really well, and their scouting departments are on par, and their recruitment is some of the best in the world, let alone the Premier League. But we have to see it, right? Like, you can't keep looking at. Like, I'm not thinking they're gonna be in relegation fights, but like whenever they have a season like this where they get raided with uh, their squad, what they end up doing is spending a season back at mid-table and then come back the season after, right? Like, that's the pattern.
Yeah, fair.
So that's what I think. So we may as well go straight to Nottingham Forest. They managed to keep Morgan Gibbs-White, which is a great outcome from them. Anthea and Elanga gone to Newcastle, which is a big blow, I think, for them, because he's been great for the club. They've got in Jair Paula from Botafogo, Igor Jesus from Botafogo. Not that I know much about them. And Tyler Binden from Reading was in the January transfer window. Not much. They are in the Europa League as well. If they go far in that competition, because again, I don't think Nottingham Forest are in danger of being relegated.
No.
Especially, like, I'm just gonna call it now. I do think all 3 promoted teams are going straight back down. I know lots of people are predicting Leeds or Sunderland or to stay up. I don't think anyone thinks Burnley is staying back up.
No. Yeah,
Look, They may.
They may. I'd be surprised if any of the 3 stayed up.
Yeah.
If last year's ones
Leeds
didn't
are
stay
the
up.
most likely. Yeah. Of them, Leeds are the most likely. And if Leeds don't stay up, we can officially say, like, this is effectively a closed league now. Like, 3 teams go up. And maybe even in the future we'll have the same 3 teams go up and the same 3 teams go down, almost. Like clockwork. Because Leeds are, like, I can't see, like, Brentford, Burnley, and Sunderland will not have parachute payments from previous seasons. Leeds and Burnley do.
All right, yeah.
So they've only had the one. Leeds had 2 seasons of parachute. Burnley at least had a few seasons of parachute payments banked in their thing when they got relegated the first time. So it's a bit complicated, but, like, I don't think, like, they might stay, but I think actually no, Leeds didn't have any parachute payments when they made it straight back up this time. So if Leeds don't make it to stay, I think we can just say, because they're the most financial, like, they outspent everyone in the championship, and they had the biggest wage bill by far of anyone of it, and they didn't have any parachute payment money and anything like that. And if they were unable to stay up in the Premier League the season after, like, you can just say, like, non-parachute payment teams are never gonna stay up, and there's 2 of them with no parachute payments this time, Leeds and Sunderland.
Yeah.
So, as I said, maybe Burnley then are the most likely to step because they at least have money. But, like, I think Leeds still outspent them. And they have richer owners in theory because it's owned by the owners of the San Francisco 49ers.
All right, yeah. The way I look at it is trying to work out who would be going down in their place, and it's hard.
It's not going to be Everton anymore. They've got their stadium, like,
Yeah.
The shit stain is now stuck. It's not going to get flushed down the toilet anymore.
Exactly. I mean, maybe Wolves in danger still?
The only one, right? Like, Wolves are potentially the only one that can. I can't see Bournemouth.
And they ended up reasonably well ahead of the curve last year, even. I know
it's a bit flattering because of Spurs and United, right?
Yeah. Like, as I mean, but even then, like, they still got to 42 points, so it's hard because in the end, the 3 promoted teams last year were well and truly dealt to. And we did think that at least Leicester would show some ability to foot it, but that's why it's hard, right? It's like, again this year, like, But Wolves looked better than that, so that will just be the bit, I think, is sort of Wolves, and as you say, the mid-table quartet really that have been raided away a little bit
The
because
B
they won't.
mid-table quartet, like
Yeah,
Bournemouth, Brentford, Brighton, and then you could put Crystal Palace, Everton, and that.
Fulham I was thinking as well.
Yeah, Fulham. Like they've all been sort of raided. Everton's not been raided, but they're gonna need a couple of seasons with this new stadium to get their,
Yeah.
get the money in the PFA. But they're gonna get there. They've got rich owners now who are gonna invest in the club. They've got a fantastic stadium. They're gonna be able to financially be more competitive going up. But I don't think that's gonna happen this season yet for them. But we were talking Nottingham Forest, like I said, because of UEFA Cup, their squad is thin. I see them finishing outside this top. Let's call it a top 7 race.
Yeah.
Um,
I think so too. So with the extra distraction of some European football, I see them finishing out, but at the same time potentially doing really well in the Conference League. So
yeah, Nottingham Forest are not in the Conference League.
Sorry,
they're in the Europa
League. Yes.
Still, with Villa.
Still potentially do well.
Yeah, and if Villa were not in the Europa League, I would go, oh yeah, Conference League, I think, Nottingham Forest might be competitive, but I think Villa are more likely to be competitive. Like, this is why I think Villa potentially are also another team that's fighting for that top 7. So Nottingham Forest, I'll just go into a bit more. They dobbed Crystal Palace in because they pointed out, look, they've got an owner in Ted Dexter, who was also the owner of Lyon. It got complicated because, and this is where I a bit of sympathy for Crystal Palace, because UEFA told them, you guys have an issue. You could potentially qualify for Europe, but you've got an owner like Ted Dexter, who's an owner of Lyon. All Crystal Palace needed to do is for Ted Dexter to put all his shares into a trust, a blind trust. And then as soon as Crystal Palace qualified for the Europa, won the FA Cup, he could just put the shares back in his name.
All right.
That is all he needed to do. Oh. Like, even you and I know how to do that. Like, we're not business people. We can go to a lawyer and set that up.
Yeah.
Pretty easily. Like, I think we might even be able to do it with a kit. And the UEFA kept sending emails warning Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace complained that they didn't get them. You know what email they gave UEFA? info@cpfc.co.uk. I mean, come on! That's the email address you give people who send complaints about, oh, there's not enough meat in the pies, or this journalist is really annoying. You can send your questions to the... when somebody hands you that info email address, your heart goes, nah, they're not taking me seriously.
Yeah.
Send your CV here, you're like, nah, okay.
Yeah, I'm not getting this job.
Yeah. So you know what I say, I'm not that sympathetic to Crystal Palace, because they stuffed up?
Yeah, fair enough.
Because Nottingham Forest, their owner, literally did this thing, because he owns Olympiacos, who qualified for the Europa League, and he went, okay, I put my shares in a blind trust. As soon as Nottingham Forest qualified, he's like, oh, yep, I put the shares back in my name.
Yeah.
There you go. That is all UEFA are asking you to do. It's not hard. They're like, yeah, this is a loophole. Go exploit it. This is how you exploit it.
It does sound like it. Like they have, step-by-step instructions how to exploit this. It's fine. What you have to do is follow this simple guide.
Yeah, and they're like, hello, Crystal Palace, you're not following our helpful guide.
Even they,
and they've sent them countless emails telling them to sort it out.
Yeah, hey, did you get our guide? You don't seem to be compliant yet. Would you like some more information?
Yeah. I'm just sitting here imagining somebody from, they call a number and somebody from ticket, like some pimply teenager going, "Hello, UEFA?" The guy's like, "Can you give us?" Alexander Sefrin going like, "Can I talk to Steve Parrish, please?" I was like, "Steve." Oh, the governor. I don't have his number. I'm sorry. And like he went and talked to like, I'll take the message and I'll let him know, and then he gets distracted by like some work experience girl he's trying to chat up, like, and
Yeah.
like this never got to him. Like that's what happened, right?
Yeah. There's like a post-it note on some computer screen somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, "Steve, please call you somebody named Alexander Silva called, and he's like talking to you about UEFA regulations,
Yeah.
It's above my pay grade."
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They got through to someone who's like, I'm not paid enough to worry about this. Yeah, whatever. Sure, I'll tell them. Whatever. Hang up.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what ended up happening. Like, I think it is unfair for the Crystal Palace fans, but their management stuffed up. They can't.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
should be. They obviously blame Ted Dexter because he's an idiot, and like everybody kind of hates him because he's been terrible at pretty much every football club he's tried to buy. Like he's got this vision, and I will give Ted Dexter his thing. Like he is very open about his idea and what he wants to do. He's not playing his card, he's not keeping his cards close to his chest. He's like, "Look, I want to own a Premier League team. I already own Leon. I own Fogo, who have won both the Copa Libertadores and a title after almost 27 years
Yeah, yeah.
since he's taken over. So, crazy. Like he's broken their curse. So, well done to him for that part. And he basically went, when he bought Leon, he was like, "Look, I'm going to push this club further." And he took an opportunity. When he bought Crystal Palace, he owns almost 40% of shares, but the way they divvied up the rules around the shares, he only gets something like, he has both. There are three groups of players, three entities. There's Steve Parrish, there's another owner, and him, and they all, basically, there's a three people vote on how decisions get made, and the other two always vote against him
All right.
whenever he wants to do stuff. So Steve Parrish pretty much just gets what he wants all the time. And to be fair, he's led Palace to the promised land, right? They were almost, they were in the fourth tier. They almost went bankrupt, and he's taken them back to Premier League. So
Yeah, cool.
he's done a lot really well for Crystal Palace. Like this is a rare stuff up from Steve giving them the info at CPFC email address. And Ted Baxter's been trying to buy Crystal Palace, and I think initially Parrish was open to selling the club to him and taking up this model, but things at Lyon didn't go well. He sold a women's team who are like one of the most successful ever.
Yeah.
He sold their arena, which is what they were making so much money out of, like sold it to the old Lyon owner, like all the parts of the business that were making money.
No.
But like funnily enough, the guy who took Lyon from nothing to being this great club in France, like, who sold it to him, like bought all the bits of Lyon that made money off him, like, yeah, he knows which are the money-making enterprises.
Strange how that works, yeah.
And like their basketball team and all this other stuff. So he is absolutely loathed in Lyon, and now he's going to sell his shares in Lyon anyway. So Crystal Palace, and Lyon almost got relegated because of him, because of financial irregularities. And like in the end, after selling his Crystal Palace shares and doing certain bits and pieces here and there, he gets to keep it. But he's basically gone now, like, no, my focus is now on Botafogo. I'm like gonna sell my European football stuff
Alright,
off.
yeah.
So like I said, he's an interesting person. Like his idea is to buy all these clubs, and he's gonna float it on his company, which he called Eagle Holdings, on the stock market.
Yeah.
To raise even more money. and like he thinks, like, you know, he's like he said, he's like a pure capitalist. He thinks like that's gonna be the model that'll get you to the most money and the best outcome. He's like, capitalism always wins, blah blah blah. Like, I don't agree with him, but at least he is putting his literal money where his mouth is, right? Like,
Yeah.
where his figurative mouth is. Like, he's walking the walk and
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
and walking the talk that he's doing. So. He has succeeded in Brazil, so, you know, who am I to say his idea wouldn't have worked had he been able to get the pieces in place?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he's not actually got to try out his idea properly. So interesting times. Nottingham Forest, like I said, we're expecting probably still top 10, like a 10, 9, 10, or 11, probably for them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think top 10.
Now, Aston Villa are interesting. Bunch of Man United are targeting players like Watkins and Sesko, and they might be tempted to go. Manchester United have no European football. That's one of the other reasons why they could potentially do well in the league.
Yeah.
This season, they haven't bought in too many players. Yasin Oshkan from Team Antlers on a free. Zepenqua Redmond from Feyenoord and Marco Bizot from Brentford. Listen, and they did get Marco Asensio from PSG on loan last season. Maybe they will get him back. Not many outgoings either as of yet at the moment, so we shall see how the rest of the transfer window treats Aston Villa. They do have an excellent manager in Unai Emery, so I think that does count for a lot. And if he has a lot more power and say in what happens at Aston Villa. He kind of gets a bit of a thing of what kind of players he wants, and he does use his resources well. So I do think they were unlucky to not go even further in Europe last season. They got smashed by the eventual champions PSG. In a close games, and I think they could go really far. I think Unai Emery is a Europa Cup winning expert.
Yeah.
So I think they're the favorites to win the Europa League next season, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's what I'm picking for them. I think potentially they will finish in a European spot and winning the Europa League to go with their other European title, which was the 1983 European Cup.
Yeah.
So we've got those Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa. Crystal Palace. They are in the Conference League. They outcompete almost every team in the Conference League financially.
Yeah.
Once again, I said this with Chelsea. We said this with Chelsea last season. Come on, at least semi-finals, probably winning it. They must be the favorites at this point.
Yeah, you would have to think, really. Yeah. So they should make it to the final, and then, I mean, finals are finals. Sometimes they can be funny things, but you would expect them to be better than most others that will make it there. So.
Yeah, and they're unlikely to be facing the special one in a final like Leicester were.
Yeah, exactly.
And they did. Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, is going to be buying to Dexter's shares in Crystal Palace. They are doing a final appeal. Like, we gave you the wrong email. We never got it. I don't know how much that will. Like, I think Cass is just gonna hear you gave them what email? Okay, go. They will see. Like, if they get to the Europe, Crystal Palace, this is a potential chance to win a trophy. Like, Nottingham Forest have won the European Cup. They don't care about winning, and they've won it twice, not just once.
Yeah, exactly.
They've won it twice, so they're not necessarily going to care about winning a conference league. It's not like Chelsea trying to complete the set when
Yeah.
they did theirs, and ditto, like Aston Villa have won a European Cup. They don't care about winning the conference league
Yeah.
as much. Like winning Europa League gets you Champions League next season. So that's always like being in there means you've got that's a second chance saloon.
Yeah.
Like, especially if Aston Villa look like it's going to be very difficult for them to finish fifth. I think they might focus on the Europa League without necessarily like sacrificing the league the way Manchester United and Spurs did last season. So I think Aston Villa, like, they haven't had too many incomings, but it's a good manager, so I do expect they'll finish in the top 7.
Yeah. No, I think so too.
And we've confirmed we think Leeds, Sunderland, and Burnley in some order will be bottom 3.
Yeah.
Who do we think are...
They possibly stick Wolves in there to be bottom 4.
Bottom 4?
Potential of Leeds being able to outplay them, but because I don't think Wolves have done very much either. We can go over it in a future podcast where we'll rate people, but I feel like Wolves so far haven't really done anything, so potentially makes them a little bit more vulnerable. But
I agree.
Yeah.
But we always say, oh, Wolves might get... Actually, I've never said Wolves will get relegated, because I always be like, no, Wolves always figure something out.
This is a broken record of me for the last couple of seasons thinking Wolves are going to get relegated, and they never have, so...
That's right. I'm like the one who always goes like, no, don't go Wolves and Everton, they'll never be relegated, and you always go, no, how long can we...
Yeah, how long can we keep saying that? They must fall one of these days.
Yeah.
I think you're right on Everton. I think Everton have probably come through the dark times, managed to stay up through all that, and then have... maybe this is the last slightly worrisome season, as you say, just whilst they settle into the new stadium, they get things sorted, but I feel like even that, they were reasonably comfortable last year. I don't see that changing.
I think Everton will probably finish in the top 10 again. Brighton, I think, will stay in the top 10. I do think Brentford, losing both Thomas Frank and a bunch of players is going to be a lot for them to recover from.
Yeah.
So they will head, I think, back down to the bottom 10, but not be threatened with relegation. Bournemouth, it's good. The players have been rated, but they've got a great manager. If he stays, and they're great at recruitment, I think they'll maintain that position, maybe 9th, 10th, 11th, somewhere around there. That's what I think about the 3Bs. I think, let's call it, of those mid-table, Fulham are the most likely to try and crash I think, a European spot.
Mm-hmm.
They'll keep their manager. I think they still have a really good team. Fulham have outgoing wise not lost as many players as the other guys have, and the most of these have gone out on loan as well, and they are bringing in Willian. There is an unwritten rule that Willian's not allowed to leave London. Football clubs will do whatever they can to make sure Willian still lives in London, because he is the guy for Brazilian players to when they need to figure out somebody who knows where to get Brazilian groceries and Brazilian food. Look, I'm not joking. Like, Willian is on the group chat. He sorts everyone out.
All right.
And that's why he has to stay in a London club, and they all have him on their group chat, and they always make sure, like, look, he has to be here. Like, you can't, like, we're all gonna riot otherwise. But Fulham, like, they're keeping a lot of their players. They've got a really good squad. They might still have time to get in players here and there. So I expect potentially, like, I do think they will finish like 8th, but they could finish as high as 6th.
Yeah.
depending on how their team goes. I don't think they'd be finishing top 4. Like, that's not in the picture
No.
for them. But also, I don't think they'll be lower than 10th. Looking at our other clubs that we haven't reviewed, just doing a quick drive-by. West Ham, the W's. West Ham,
Yeah.
Wolves, like, you think Wolves are destined for bottom half finish, 16th, at best 15th?
Yeah, I think so.
I think Brentford might get that 15th, 14th kind of spot. I think West Ham might also be around there, 13th, 14th. Like, I do think they're on the lower end of the table. They've lost David Moyes.
Yeah.
He's gone back to Everton. That's the other reason why I think Everton are gonna do
Yeah, Moyes is back. So.
well. And like, that feels like everything's right with the
Yeah.
world. Like, David Moyes might actually get them all the way up the thing. I think Everton are still in the bottom half. I don't see them finishing in the top half.
Well,
I
yeah.
think
I mean,
very comfortable 12th, 13th sort of thing. West Ham similar. West Ham's got Graham Potter. He's gonna have to implement his style.
Yeah.
They've got, obviously, Mohamed Kudus has gone out, and they've just loaned out a bunch of players, but they've got a decent amount of money, I think, from Mohamed Kudus. They got Kyle Walker-Peters from Southampton, who's a decent player. Al-Haji Malik Diouf, who is the son of El-Haji Diouf, if you remember from back in the day. And they got Jean-Claire Tobido from Nice. Graham Potter's a fantastic scout. If he gets given a bunch of... he's got a good system. He knows how to get the best out of his players. I think a really good coach. And if the West Ham owners, who are actually reasonably patient, they gave a lot of time to David Moyes.
Yeah.
And they still have good players like Jared Bowen and Mikel Antonio at the club. So, and I expect they'll still be looking for players.
Yeah.
Who they'll get in before the window closes. Especially because they've got money for the Kudus, from the Kudus transfer.
Yeah.
But I think Potter will just keep them steady. I don't think they're going to finish in the top half under Potter. Though, maybe. Actually, Graham Potter's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, but at the same time, not everybody can finish in the top half, right?
Yeah. There's too many good teams in that top half.
Mm.
Alright, so I think I'll go my final order. Manchester City, and then Liverpool, and then Arsenal, and then Chelsea. I will optimistically say Manchester United, because they have no European football to distract them.
Yeah.
And they've had a full preseason for Amorim. Newcastle 6th, Aston Villa 7th. That's my top 7.
Yeah. Tottenham finishing 8th then.
Yeah, actually no, I'll put Tottenham 7th.
Yeah.
Aston Villa finishing outside, yeah. But Spurs will somehow win the Champions League and come back in the Champions League next season. That's just, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue too much that I'd probably put a very similar thing, maybe just pushing Chelsea up one spot.
Yeah.
I think, and probably Liverpool first and City second, then Chelsea, then Arsenal. Other than that, I'm fairly happy with your top 7/8.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, obviously as we come closer to the time, we'll be able to review the schedules and see how that plays out. But yeah. I think
well,
that's
one thing we should say before we go, just a reminder that the standard fantasy leagues open with invites. Links.
Yep.
around the place. I'm sure I'll put it in the show notes. And we will be having our fantasy draft. They're still setting that up, so we aren't able to set that going yet. But I think we're planning for that tentatively planning for the 8th of August to have our fantasy draft going for the EPL or the Fantasy Premier League.
Nice.
So get invites out for
Be
those
there
when they
or
come.
be, yeah, be there or be square.
Exactly.
Nice.
Oh, and also a reminder for everyone of our Discord channel, Facebook page,
Yes.
all the rest. Buy me a coffee. Yeah.
YouTube channel. Yeah.
YouTube channel, whatever. I'm sure if you find a way of communicating with us, we will communicate back.
100%. And obviously your emails and everything are all down there as well.
All in the show notes. So, yeah, there's plenty of ways to contact us.
Exactly. And complaints, compliments, whatever you want.
Yeah. And also, shout out to everybody in the Discord channel and everybody that
100%.
contributes there and everywhere else. Like, it's always good to have people.
Yep. Our super small but extremely vocal community.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Anyways, I think that's all we have time for today. Thanks very much for listening, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Catch you next time.
Well, that is the end. Thanks for listening all the way through.
If you liked what you heard, we have even more. NineSixFourTwo Discord and a Buy Me a Coffee.
Pretty sure it's Buy Me a Beer.
Oh yeah, buy me a beer on buymeacoffee.com.
In both these places, you can talk to us, and we may even listen, especially if you do buy a said beer or coffee. I might still be confused.
Yes, we're easily bribed. All links are in the show notes below.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
This is on YouTube.